Okay, what else can I do? Obviously, this picture over here looks a little bit cleaner than that, although I did get rid of a lot of the pimples. There are some other things that you can do. So I'm going to open it up again. Number one, I want to, sort of look at this. Some of the things that I can do right off the bat here is dealing with some of the contrast. I might want to pull that down a little bit. I can warm the face up in different ways. Just pulling down the contrast a little bit, um, you know, helps to unify some of the skin there. Highlights clarity. I could pull the clarity down a little bit. You want to watch. You don't want to do it, because then the whole face starts to get soft. So how could I want to bring down the clarity a little bit, but I don't want like the eyebrows and the hair and everything else to look that way. So how do I do that to just certain areas? Well, you can go in here, and these are adjustment brush tools, and like here's a graduated filter. So I can apply changes to certain areas. If I click on this adjustment brush tool, I can do specific things. I'm just going to set these all back to 0 before I start using it. Okay, so I'm going to start using this the adjustment brush tool over her face. First of all, again, the size and feather. Feather is the amount of the circle that is on the outside of that. And I'm just going to I want to show a mask, and I want it to be a colored overlay so I can see where I'm going. So I'm going to pick a color. Oh, it does want me to do something with it, so I'm going to pull the clarity down a little bit. So I set it to be this color so I can see exactly where I'm painting. And I just want to sort of hit up her face. I'm just going to try a portion of her face so you can sort of see what it does as opposed to what it's not doing on the other side of her face. So just in this area right here, I'm going to sort of paint this mask on here. Okay, I'm going to uncheck it. Now already the clarity is down a little bit because it made me do that, but you can see that I can come in here and pull the clarity down quite a bit. Now you don't see her pores anymore. You have to be careful how you do this. It can be overdone, but because you're combining these images with other ones for the multiple exposure, you can get away with softening in a little bit. For your single portrait that you're putting in here, I wouldn't do this for that particular thing. Don't pull your clarity all the way down. Instead, find some other ways to maybe soften up your skin. Use noise reduction. You can sort of pull down on some of these things up and down and see what it does. And remember that any changes that you make here are only happening to the area that you've masked. So any adjustments that I make over here are only applying to this red area that I've highlighted. So you can sort of see, all right, fine, I'll pull the clarity way down. And look at this side of the face as opposed to this side of the face. So again, you don't really want to overdo it, but you can make some of those changes. I'm going to go back in here now with this brush and try to get a couple other things in here. Some of these little pimples right here. Get rid of those. And not everything needs to be gotten rid of. It's not like, every little freckle has to be taken off your face, so on and so forth. And then I can click done here, and I mean you can really see the difference from one side of her face to the next. I think this looks a little bit neater than this. I sort of softened this whole face up. This looks a little bit healthier. When I was editing, I did boost the color up a little bit just to warm her skin tone up a bit. All right, so that's just some very simple edits that you can do to soften up and fix a face pretty quick.